Yes, your eyes aren't deceiving you. We have uploaded. I know it's a bit late.
We have uploaded.
It's Friday night. You're probably about to go to bed. You see the notification. Why have they uploaded now? Anyway, welcome back to the CouchSide Sports Report. I'm Simon Natzel, and we're coming to you a few days late. More than a few days late, actually.
But there's good reasons for that.
Good reason. Dylan got some R&R in beautiful Queenstown.
Yes, sir.
I did not. I was stuck in Auckland.
You've been a busy man.
I've been a busy man. We've all been busy at the end of the day.
Yeah,
And we're here
very
to
true.
talk about all the greatest in local and international sport.
Yes, sir.
For the past week and a bit. Obviously, our main point of discussion will be the All Blacks game, which happened last week. Me and Dylan were both there.
Let's go.
Great, but we'll talk about that later. And we have a lot of other things to talk about. Other games in rugby, the NRL, the NFL is back up and running.
Yes.
The Women's Rugby World Cup is now getting on into its knockout stages.
Let's
We've had
go.
some international football. We've got football starting back up in Europe. We're getting closer and closer to start the A-League season next month. We've got a lot to talk about, Dylan.
Yes,
But
we do.
more importantly, how are you doing?
I am good, mate. I was glad to get some R&R in Queenstown. It was very nice. And made me a little bit more refreshed for this, even though, like Simon said earlier, yes, this is coming to you late.
And
Very
this,
late.
And this is
than what we
later,
should.
later in the day than we usually record as well. So this is going to be...
But also, we know you're up at night. You ain't got anything better to
No,
do.
not at all.
Listen to the CouchSide Sports Report, eh?
Just listen to it. But this is going to be chill vibes.
Yeah, man.
Relaxed. We're not going to
So
be
it's
as...
usually chill vibes anyway.
It's chill
to be
vibes, so we're
honest.
going to be more relaxed. And maybe not say anything we regret, but be a little...
We'll see what happens.
We'll just say
Whatever.
what we're thinking at the time.
Very true.
As we probably should move on to the first point of discussion.
Yes,
probably
sir.
the reason why we are bothering with this week's podcast
Yeah, that's a good point.
is the All Blacks versus South Africa.
Yes,
Last
sir.
Saturday, Eden Park,
We were there.
48,000 screaming fans. We were a part of that.
Yes. And can I say, it was 48,000 screaming fans. I think about 40,000 of them were South African fans.
I don't think they had the majority. I think we did, but
No,
it
I
was
can't.
scary.
When me and my dad arrived and we went into the stadium, it was a sea of green. I won't lie to you.
You
It was
guys
a
got there
sea of
early.
green.
Me, because of train delays and getting into the stadium delays.
Yes.
Got there when the lights were dim just before the players walked out.
Yes,
and
that's
the
very true.
vibes were great
Yeah.
until the Springboks walked out first, and I
Yeah, it erupted,
shat
man.
myself
Yes.
because of the amount of noise I heard from the
Yeah,
crowd,
man.
and turned to one of my friends. I forgot if it was you or one of my other friends. I said, "We are fucked."
They turned up. The fans turned up.
They did.
I can't, shout out to the South African fans. You guys turned up. It was awesome.
But
It was awesome.
at the end of the day, the streak has remained.
Let's go.
The
We
All Blacks
continue.
take out South Africa 24-17. Eden Park's over 50 game winless streak. Undefeated streak.
Winless.
Undefeated
Yes,
streak
for the other teams.
is still intact.
Come
the All
on.
Blacks played to their strengths. Razor's best game as All Blacks coach so far.
Yep, so far.
Some great performances by a lot of guys. Some unfortunate injuries and other issues in the game.
Yeah.
But this was a game that the All Blacks, they didn't deserve to lose, and
Yes.
did not
Yes.
not deserve to win, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
It's the first time I can say in a while that the All Blacks probably deserved to win a game.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird
It's
saying
very-
that now.
It's weird, although a lot of fans from overseas will say, "Shut the fuck up! You got to, have 8 years of the greatest team in international rugby." It's like, yeah, of course we did, but that was always
To be fair,
only supposed to be a one-off.
You could also make that argument. I mean, All Blacks have won 77% of their games.
Yeah.
We may have had a great team those 8 years. Don't get me wrong, but you could go further back than that. And there's probably
yeah.
people saying the exact same thing about our 70s team, our 80s
80s
team,
team.
our Invincibles back in the 1900s.
Or even the 90s and the 2000s teams, which didn't even win World Cups, but were
Yes,
basically
absolutely
unstoppable.
dominant outside of a World Cup.
Outside of a World Cup, apart from some years like 98 where we lost 6 games in a row, I think, and
Yeah.
those weird years.
Yeah.
But back to this game, back
Yeah,
to the
man.
present. This was great.
Excellent.
I hope it's not coming up on the speaker. Our laptop's making more noise than usual. I think it's just not expecting to work on a Friday.
No, big
But
facts.
the All Blacks were able to take advantage of every clear-cut chance they had, I
Yeah.
felt like.
Yeah.
All the 3 times that we had a very clear opportunity to score a try, We did.
Yes,
The
this
first
is true.
one came just 2 minutes into the game, a brilliant crossfield kick from Bowden Barrett.
Yep.
Found Imoni Narawa, who Willie LaRue just slipped over top of him as he caught the ball,
Yeah.
allowing Narawa to get up because he hadn't been tackled.
Yeah.
Somehow dummied Chislin Colby, of all people,
Yeah,
to score.
I think Cheslin Colby still might be looking for the ball.
He might still be.
Although I wonder if it was a strategic give up, if you get what I mean.
Well, I don't think so.
Because how are you falling for that? I can't and none of us scored a very impressive try.
Why would he be strategically letting Narawa score in the first 2 minutes?
Because it's the first 2 minutes and you've got 78 to go.
Yeah, but
I'm not saying that's a good decision.
no, I feel like Cheslin's above that when he comes to play for South Africa. From what I know from his time in Japan, he might do that in Japan, but I don't think he does that for South Africa at Eden Park against the All Blacks.
Surely not.
Or as half the crowd will say, Eden Park. You know, go to Eden Park.
That's pretty accurate.
I don't think it is.
Man.
But that was a great start to the game. We're right above that as well.
And it was unfortunate that Narawa did end up, as we find out, I didn't expect it to be this serious. Rib fracture and punctured lung.
Yeah, about 2 minutes later, got caught in a rough tackle.
Yeah.
But thankfully for the All Blacks, they didn't let that phase them.
No.
Damian McKenzie came on and played at fullback, while Jordan shifted to the wing.
Yeah.
And as we saw against France earlier in the year, we know this works, and it did.
Yes.
Jordan scored the second try of the game. We were looking very good. But
Before McKenzie came on, actually, he scored it being the fullback.
No, McKenzie was on by then.
No, he wasn't.
He had to be.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, McKenzie came on after 5 minutes.
Oh, fair enough.
He was just in the middle in that play, and the fact he was still
yeah.
wearing 15 probably confused all of us.
Yeah, I was about to say because I didn't remember McKenzie being on there. But hey, Jordan did score. Death taxes and Will Jordan scoring a try. You know how it is.
Yep. Second half could have been a little bit better. South Africa came into the game a little bit more. Their subs really did help him. Corbus Reinhardt and Sasha. Can't say his last name off the top of my head.
I'm not even going to try, but I know half of it is Feinberg.
Yes.
So there you go.
They changed the game. Sasha was brilliant against us last year in South Africa.
Yep.
So was the fullback Fussy, who we'll talk about later, who didn't play in this game. This was definitely a game where a lot of South Africans were upset at a lot of specific players. A lot of South Africans upset at the ref, but at the end of the day, I think
calm down, mate.
It was not nearly as much of an injustice as a lot of people were saying. My point is that if you had a different ref in charge who maybe refed a little bit more in your favour, you're still losing.
Yes.
You're still losing that game.
The way that South Africa played, yes.
Because the ref and his decisions was not the reason why you kept on dropping the ball.
Facts.
And conceding penalties, okay?
And throwing a midfield line out. That did not work out very well.
No, it didn't work out at all, and hopefully that's the last we see of it, because I didn't really see the point in it to begin with, apart from flexing, we like the line out.
Yes.
We're going to do it.
That will not work against, honestly, all these rugby championship teams.
It shouldn't. It shouldn't work against any international team.
No.
For that matter. But there are still some negatives. That can't be a perfect game.
Hell no.
Our scrum got battered, as we know.
Our scrum got hammered.
It got battered, but South Africa's known for having a big scrum. And in those last 20 minutes, we were allowing South Africa to counterattack a little bit.
Yeah.
They allowed them to push in and score relatively quickly, but this wasn't the last 20 minutes. This wasn't a little bit of not a dead period of the game, but like you can imagine, like we'd be tired at this point. Like, you know.
Yes, you can imagine the human thing, but at the same time, you know, can't afford to do that in a World Cup final.
Not at all.
Say, you know, but we were able to get away with it because we played very well.
Yes.
But also, South Africa made more mistakes than I was used to seeing of a South African team of this quality.
And I don't think it was to do with the refereeing at all. Or just simple mistakes I'd expect the All Blacks to be making, like this current team.
The way that we've been playing,
dropping the ball, not being disciplined. The All Blacks being disciplined for once. Great.
Yes, fantastic.
Very, very disciplined. Managed to turn up and be disciplined at the right time. Biggest game of the season so far. Probably the biggest game of the whole season.
Yes.
If we take into account, the games in Europe will be high stakes, plus the game in Chicago against Ireland, and even Australia at Eden Park later.
Yeah.
And the coming game tomorrow.
We better not.
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly.
Lose to the Wallabies at Eden Park. I'm going to be pissed if that happens.
I genuinely wouldn't be surprised, and I'd much rather it be Australia than another team. I'm just saying, I know it's a bit shit of a Kiwi saying I'd rather it be Australia than anyone else, but come on.
We do need them to be good,
because I think I'd rather the Australians have that against us than the South Africans.
Really? I'd rather South Africans have it.
if the South Africans bet us at Eden Park, we would never hear the end of it.
We won't hear the end of it
For
if the
100
Australians
years.
do it.
No, well, they deserve it more. They've been through shit.
Fair.
They've been through absolute shit. South Africans already have their 2 World Cups,
Well,
which they love to
yes.
talk about. They love to bring up 4 World Cups. Yeah, well, we've got 9, so shut up.
fair. Are we counting the women's ones as well?
We are
fair,
counting the Black
fair,
Ferns.
Fair.
Yeah, we're absolutely counting the Black
fair.
Ferns World Cups.
Fair. Well, let me give you this just to move on from us complaining about fans,
yeah.
even though we are them.
Yes.
Players that impressed you on our side.
Oh, well.
Who you got?
No, that is very, very easy. In order, kind of. Well, not in like who was the best, but just kind of going positionally.
Yes.
Tupavai, back at lock, just as good.
Fantastic.
I don't think he's going back to blindside. I didn't mind him at blindside. I liked him at blindside, but I think he's a lock going forward. He has to be.
Yeah.
The best lock in the country, probably one of the best locks in the world.
Yeah.
Alongside Mara Itoje and Will Skelton. Like, I don't, and Ebenezabeth.
And Ebenezabeth,
I don't think,
yeah.
I think he's at that level, and obviously Scott Barrett as well.
Yes.
And then also Simon Parker
was great.
He's a blindside. He has to. I think
He's a blindside, man.
He's a blindside. He's a big unit. He was so good.
But the thing is, I didn't expect I know this happened in the Argentina game.
Yeah.
He makes tackles.
He's a tackling
bro.
machine.
We need that at 6. Big guy. I'm talking big guy.
He's huge.
We're talking about like same size as Tupavai pretty much.
Yeah.
But athletic enough to do 6 things.
Yeah.
And as a tackle machine.
Yeah, and
That's a guy we have to. And hey, we brought him up here.
we did.
When
we
nobody
both
thought
brought him
about
up.
it.
We both brought him up, and we're like, well, it was you first publicly because I remember talking to you about him first game. And it seems like, who the
Yes.
hell is Simon Parker, and why is he
Yes.
starting ahead of Fino for the Chiefs?
Well,
round 1.
we've just fucking found out.
We've found out why. We've absolutely found out
Yeah,
why.
I thought he was great.
He is, and honestly, in my head, that spot for now is locked down to Simon Parker.
Yeah, as
I
long
don't know
as
who
if
else
he keeps playing like this.
He's better than Sami Penifino.
Yes.
At 6, he's better than Tupavai. Allows Vai to play at 5, which is his better position.
Yes.
And I think he's better than all the other 6 options because I think we want Wallace Satiti at 8. And I
Yes.
think even at 6, Parker might be better than Satiti, which is crazy to say because he was World Breakout Player of the Year last
Yes.
year. Speaking of other players, Artie Savia,
Did what? I mean, that clutch play at the end is tough.
turnover at the end of the game, which wasn't actually the winning turnover. I know people were saying
No,
it was
yeah,
because they
it
did
was
get the
not.
ball back.
Because his opposite, I'm pretty sure, and I said this there, I'm pretty sure it was Peter Steph Dutoy that ended up getting the turnover to give them the last chance in like the 80th minute.
Yeah. But Artie was great, as always. 100th test match for him as well. Great for him. And this is, no, I'm not going to say this is rogue. He deserves to be mentioned. Finley Christie's best game in an All Blacks jersey.
Yes.
Absolute. I did not seem to have been battered around or make mistakes that people online would love to tell you he makes all the time. He is the 4th choice half at the end of the day, but he played his bloody heart out. He proved that
he played a good
when
game.
he needs to be caught up on, he can be.
Yeah.
And he was absolutely brilliant in my opinion.
Yep.
And I'm very happy that he had a good game. I want to say that Bowden again was stable at 10.
It's exactly what we need in that
we
position,
just need
man.
someone stable at 10. We can't afford to have an X factor who misfires. We
Yes.
need someone who can control the game, who can, make the plays. His kicking, I wasn't like, there weren't times that I remember like, Bowden, why the fuck are you kicking?
Yeah.
There wasn't any moments like that, which is very good.
Yes.
And then also, unfortunately, Monty Nuttall was great before he went off.
Yes.
And then at Will Jordan, also very good.
Yep.
As always, scored again, like he does. And Damien McKenzie, I thought, played very well at 15. He's the type of player I love to have at 15.
What have I been saying
Yep.
for the last 6 months? And what have I been saying this whole podcast?
He's a
That
fullback.
dude is a fullback.
And
for international rugby, he is a fullback.
But hey,
Stop it.
I think
He's a
maybe
fullback.
his play at fullback might be why we haven't seen Josh Jacob announced as a player at the Highlanders yet, because maybe the Chiefs have realised maybe he is better off a fullback. And maybe
Yes.
we do want to develop Jacob at 10, but it does pose the question, where the hell are you going to play all your backline next year? But
Yeah, because that honestly, we'll do like a Super Rugby preview.
when
we'll go through that.
When the squads get announced in November, we'll be talking about
exactly.
it. But I'm pretty sure it's November. It might be later. But again, I think McKenzie played well. Quintu Paya off the bench, great as well.
Scored a try. I thought he was awesome.
Thank God, like great return to him.
Totally deserved, bro, as well.
And also shout out to Kyle Preston for making his debut on
man.
probably one of the biggest stages too, off the bench at home at Eden Park against South Africa in
True
a
that.
tight game at that point. Shout out to him. Didn't seem to misplace anything.
No.
Did as well as he could. And apart from that, I think that's it from the All Blacks side.
And can I just say as well, because I know people are going to be like, oh, Rico Ioane did nothing. If he doesn't save that ball on that try line, we're talking a different game.
Exactly. There's a clutch play from him that we were missing because from the midfield a little bit. I think Geordie and Billy, that's the centre partnership for now.
Yeah, it's seeming like that.
I don't think you change it for now. And I have time to build it at the Canes next year, which is great because they need the experience together, much like how Martin and Conrad needed the experience together. Because a lot of people forget it was only until a couple of years before that 2011 World Cup where they really gelled together. They didn't gel immediately when they made the debuts early 2000s.
Yeah.
They both came through, and Mata played on the wing at times, I think. Conrad may have even played other positions.
Yeah.
And then finally, it was post 2007. They finally got the opportunity to play with each other more often as a centre duo for the Canes.
Look what happened, man.
And for the All Blacks, and one of the best midfield partnerships
Now,
ever.
we're not going to be here and compare Geordie Barrett and
we're not.
And Billy Proctor to those two as a partnership, but who knows?
It's just, it's to remind people that great partnerships do take time. Yeah. And even though that partnership may never get on the same level, it can still get a lot better. You don't want to be disheartened by the first couple of games.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking on the South African side, more or less not players I was impressed with, but I was very privileged and proud and privileged and thankful to be able to see some of these box guys play in person, because you hear about them, haven't actually seen them play. Your likes of Eben, Sia, Pieter-Steph du Toit,
True that.
Andre Pollard, Cheslin Colby, Willie LaRue.
Yep.
Probably forgetting like Jesse Krill, Dialande.
I will say, I hope Jesse Creel's not captain again, because he talked a lot to the referee. A lot.
That may have been why the ref. I'm not saying the ref was biased towards New Zealand at all, but I think refs probably don't.
They're
like
human,
it
man.
When someone's always chirping it out. I'm not saying that that's why South Africa weren't getting favourable calls, which I'm not saying they should have got them in the first place.
And I would argue that there wasn't what we call favourable calls.
No.
In this anyway. I think there were more favourable calls actually for both sides in the Rugby World Cup final than this freaking game.
Exactly. And I think a lot of people have been reminding South African fans, like, oh, you complain about the ref, but if we got a different ref in the World Cup, who knows? I think that's a different story.
Exactly.
Or different TMO, I must say.
But also at the same time, I don't want this podcast to turn into ref this, ref that. Because
yeah, and also
they made a lot of mistakes,
and also complaining about a ref this moment from 2 years ago, from a World Cup moment has already been.
I'm going to call out some All Blacks fans for that. We need to stop.
I mean, yeah.
We need to stop.
Like, yes, but I think the more important thing is not to complain about the ref, but to remind South Africa that you only won that final by a point against 14 men.
Yeah.
Remember that. And not 14 men, 20-minute red card, normal red card. You won a World Cup final by a singular point.
Yes.
And I think
we had two kicks to try and win it, and we couldn't do it.
More important thing to remind South Africa, because they talk about being a dominant side and how they're the most dominant side because they won 2 World Cups in a row. Yeah, but you lost games at both World Cups.
Yes.
The only other team to do that, New Zealand, didn't lose a single game at both World Cups.
Until we lost to France.
No. I'm saying in 2011, 2015 when we won.
Yes.
We didn't win a single game.
Yeah, agreed. Yes,
South Africa lost to us in 2019 and then lost to Ireland in 2023. Both World Cups they won. They lost games. You can't claim to be the most dominant team, the greatest team of all time, if you're not dominating the whole tournament and also dominating in between those tournaments.
Yeah.
South Africa didn't win it. Yes, COVID was a thing, but they didn't win a rugby championship in that time period.
True.
They did win a Lions series, but if the 2013 All Blacks got to play the Lions instead of Australia, they're sweeping that.
Yeah, exactly.
They're sweeping that. Yes, this was a Lions team with Sam Warburton and a young George North and so many great players, young Owen Farrell, Johnny Sexton, great players. But
actually, you want to talk about ref, I still think Sam Warburton got shafted in the 2011 semi.
Oh, yeah. So, I think that's one of those, because we're not saying you can't criticise the ref, because there have been some calls in the history of the game where you go, okay, that's not right.
Yeah.
Like, the referee isn't always correct, but at the same time, you can't use it as your you can't use it as your excuse every single time.
Yeah. Speaking of call-outs, there's somebody else I need to call out.
Oh, God.
Kevin Peterson.
Oh, yeah.
You play cricket. Stay in your lane.
For context,
you go for it.
KP,
Explain.
South African born and raised cricketer, international cricketer for England, criticising Tupavai for celebrating winning. What was it?
Stay in your fucking
it was
lane.
when he clapped after we
He clapped after every turnover. That he did.
He's not the only person who does that, mate.
Yeah.
You're just butthurt because South Africa lost.
Also, at the same time, I feel like the All Blacks probably need that a little bit more.
And also,
my dad would
Kevin-
completely disagree with that point.
Kevin, not your dad, Kevin.
No.
Kevin Peterson. I understand why you're angry because every time I watch a game and I see the other teams get riled up after they do a call on the team I support,
We're
I'm
pissed.
like, I can't wait till we beat you and we rip the smile off your face. And when
Yes.
that doesn't happen, I'm pissed. But you don't have to say it's a bad thing. You played international cricket. You know how athletes get emotional.
And you didn't even play for South Africa.
No.
Hello, fool. Anyway, leave
of
that. I loved you as a cricketer, mate, but calm the down.
Oh, I don't remember him too much.
I do.
But to be fair, I didn't watch that much cricket when I was
There
a
you
kid.
go. But anyway, that's a great end to the review. Now it's on to the preview of the game in Wellington, which the team has already been named. I've got some things here, which are, of course, Mr. Leroy Carter Boomfa is debuting at winger. Mackenzie, like we said, has been moved to fullback for this game.
Yes.
Jordan is on the right wing. I think that we'll talk about high ball because I think that covers it a little bit more.
Yep.
For everybody that complains about it in comments, Ruben Love is off the bench
At 23.
and with Cody Taylor out with a concussion.
Yes.
Samasoni Tokiaho, who's been fantastic off the bench.
Yep.
He's into the starting lineup, and also Noah Hotham is back healthy. He is at 9. Finlay Christie is down out to number 21. He's the backup halfback. But outside of that, everything's pretty much the same. You do have Lomax now in the starting tight head prop. So we finally get, after a great run in 2022, we get De Groot, Tokiaho and Lomax, who I still think will be our starting front row at the 2027 Rugby World Cup.
Yep.
We get them there. Finally get to see them really after 2022, where they beat South Africa at Ellis Park with that 3.
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting. I think it brings up another point as well, which I'm going to start it off with, which is our scrum. Now, our scrum was shockers.
It was not great.
Look, Oxenchae is the best scrummager in the world right now.
He's
Let's
another
be
player
real
who
here.
I'm very happy to say I've seen in action in person.
Yeah. Thomas Dutoy, who was the other tight head prop, I thought he played very well as well.
Yeah.
I'm surprised because I don't think Ethan de Groot had the best game there. I think when he's on form, he's one of the best scrummagers in the world.
Oh, yeah.
Up there with Ox and Che. But I don't think he had the best game. So I'm kind of surprised Tamaiti Williams isn't starting this. Tamaiti Williams is on the bench. But I will say that I'm glad Lomax is there for a run. He's a great scrummager. Very glad we took him away from Australia.
Yeah.
But
I mean, he's a Kiwi. So.
yeah, but you get what I mean. And Tokiaho, I'm sure will continue to do great things. And can I just say, Tokiaho is still coming off a torn Achilles and playing like this, which is insane.
Yeah, the fact
insane athletic ability. So
the fact he's came back off it looking just as good is very good to see because he clearly was seen as the next big hooker for us, in terms of he's going to take the mantle from Cody Taylor, like he took it from Dane Coles, like he took it from someone like Mills Muliaina, although there would have been someone else in between. Not Mills.
Did you say Mills?
Not Mills
Kevin
Muliaina.
Mialamu.
Kevin Mialamu.
There we
Simon,
go.
You.
Has Mills Muliaina played hooker?
Yeah,
Please,
it's because
show me the game.
Because Dylan's got a whole bunch of rugby merch he acquired, and I was looking through the cards, and the first card,
which we will put here,
Yes.
here at some point as display.
the first card,
Ben, thank you.
The first card was Muliaina, so for some reason that was the M name which came into my heart, into my mind at first. Which I apologize, Mills and Kevin, for getting you guys mixed up.
Actually,
Brilliant players and both 100-cap players in your own right.
while you're saying that, I'm going to quickly go off screen because this is my favorite part of this merch. Mr. Julian Savia Pepsi can.
How old
Julian Savia Pepsi
How
can.
old is this Pepsi can?
I'm not sure. I forgot to ask him. I'm going to.
Does
what
that
do we
say
got?
27? It expired in 2017.
I'm going to presume that it would be either 2017 or 16 then.
Has to be, right?
Yeah.
Is it any?
Ben from work, you are the GOAT. Thank you very much. Here we
doesn't
go.
smell like anything. He's clean now.
That's clean.
That's clean.
Julian Savia Pepsi can. It looks like I'm doing an infomercial, but I'm not.
We're not sponsored by Pepsi Max or Julian Savia.
Yet.
Sure,
But I'm
you
gonna
don't want to
it
put it away in its safe space and not to get crushed.
there. No, I'm
Because
going to put it there for now. I'm going to trust you
okay,
and me.
Well,
but
I
there we
wanna
go.
trust myself,
but anyway, So carrying on, so we need that front row to step up because we did in this game win what we needed to. We won defensively, we were awesome. We did win the
brilliant.
rucks and we did win the mauls. We need to add the scrums to that.
I think Jason Ryan will be onto that.
Yeah,
he'll be like, "Okay, guys, that was shit. We're gonna improve this, and
big
hopefully
facts.
not.
We need it to be better.
Not like forget about everything else.
Because I'm not sure we can get away against South Africa again
with that scrum.
With that scrum.
Absolutely.
Once again, I say high ball is the focus. The reason I say that is because Leroy Carter, fantastic player in Super Rugby. He's got some speed too. Hopefully we get to see that. Big thing with him, of course, is what did the Blues do against the Chiefs? Kick high balls to him. He didn't know how to do shit with it. The good thing is, and I think the reason that Razors made these selections, number one, I'm sending my condolences to the Ioane family because Rico. The reason why Rico's not on the team is because I think he had a grandparent pass away, which is why he isn't playing. But I think the reason he's put Mackenzie at the back and Jordan on the right is number one. That's actually worked really well.
It has
against France and then against South Africa in this game. But also, it's better high ball.
Yep.
Mackenzie can catch a high ball. Jordan is notoriously very good under the high ball.
Although he has been a little bit suspect this season, but I feel like that is going to naturally get better because that's a big part of his game. He will regain that ability. But I'm happy to see that selection, and I'm very happy to see Leroy Carter given a shot because if it does work, then it's a very good wing option to have. We all expected Caleb Clark to be named here, but he wasn't named in the team.
We expected Caleb Clark.
I think most people did, but we'll see him sooner rather than later. I think
definitely
it'll be great to see him back in the All Blacks jersey, but I'm very happy to see Leroy given a shot. Also good to see Quintu Paia retained on the bench.
Yes.
Also good to see Finley Christie retained on the bench, although really no choice there. But good to see. This is Noah's first start for the All Blacks, I believe.
Yes.
So, big occasion for him. And I'm sure Finley will be able to clean it up on the bench.
Big facts.
After that.
Before we go into what the All Blacks need to do to win, can I just say, Rassie Erasmus has fucking gone and pretty much cleaned house with the team that played at Eden Park. And he has started, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, what you got? So this is the back line. Pollard gone completely from the side. You've got Sasha at 10 and then Fussy at 15. Those two killed us in South Africa last year, so I don't look forward to seeing that.
But it is an all gas no brakes type partnership there. And Wellington, if it's shit weather,
it's gonna be tough.
It might be tough.
Yeah. Damien Willemse, who I've never seen at 12, is going to play at 12. Moody has moved from the wing into centres. Moody, very similar to a young Rico Ioane.
Yeah.
In terms of started on the wing, played very well, then moved into centres. And kind of goes back and forth between the both of them.
I've seen a lot of people say that he's a lot better at centre than some people think.
Yeah.
They've had
I agree. I
I
think he's a great young player.
Oh, he's a very good young player. He was on the left wing in the last game.
Yes.
So he's moved into the outside centres. And then the wingers, Colby keeps a spot, and young Ethan Hooker gets a start on the left wing. I think he's
another
also
centre winger.
Another centre winger. They love to have him in South Africa. Then their back forward hybrid, Andre Esterhazen, is at 23.
Yes.
He's a centre who can play flanker. So that'll be very interesting to see. We've got Mani Libok on the bench. I think Grant Williams is on the bench as well with Corbus Ryback playing at 9. Who I didn't realise is 35.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was a young guy.
No, he's back in South Africa, but he spent 4 years in Montpellier, which is probably why he's so good, because he played all the rugby in his 30s in France, so he's ready for anything. He's playing URC. It's a holiday for him.
That's a good point.
You know, it'll be up to it. And also seeing Sia Khaleesi move back into 6 and an actual
given the captain as well.
An actual 8 and Jesper Wiese or Vice at 8. He was suspended for the last game.
Yeah, sounds like something along those lines.
And I think Itzebeth is injured, hence why he's not involved.
I was like, why have they?
People were saying Itzebeth was injured. Maybe he was dropped, but I wouldn't have dropped Itzebeth, honestly.
No. So that's what I'm saying. Rassie's like cleaned house with this team, so it's going to be interesting to see. It seems more attacking than South Africa is used to.
Yes, this is a definite sign of, in an ideal world, this is probably very close to the team South Africa rolls out the World Cup in 2 years. It's that they want to build this depth, and I think all of the players, at least in the back line, apart from Ryback, are quite young.
Right, yeah, right.
Like,
Yeah.
very young, and they just needed more time to develop. I know Ethan Hooker's only about 22, only has 2 or 3.
Willems is 27, 28.
Yep, and
I think something along
one of the
those
best
lines.
players in the world on his day.
Yes.
Sasha's one of the best young 10s in the world.
Fussy, same thing at 15.
I think he's a little bit older, Fussy, but he's still very good.
Yes.
So it will be really interesting. South Africa do have a lot of depth in some positions, so they want to make the most of it, give them opportunities. This could cause issues for the All Blacks, but also the inexperience and maybe the all gas, no brakes mentality in some of the players might hinder them a little bit.
Yeah.
I know some South African fans are saying we're going to get smashed. Some are saying, "Oh,
No, calm down. You guys are better than that."
Might click here. I don't think we're going to see a 57-0. I'm confident. I'm confident the All Blacks will get the win again. I'm slightly more confident we might have a better win than last week. I know I'm saying that as we're playing in Wellington.
Okay.
Notoriously not a great place for the All Blacks to play.
No.
But I'm confident that I think we will build on last week because we've effectively named the same team who played that whole game.
Yeah, especially pretty much.
Their first 5 minutes may have had Nadawa on the wing, but he didn't play the last 75.
No.
Damien McKenzie's basically coming off a full 80.
Yep.
It's almost the exact same back line, but with one Leroy Carter and now Noah Hotham at 9.
Yes.
Apart from that, the forwards, the only change is bringing on one of the best props in the world, right?
Yes.
So
Very true.
I think it's essentially the same team. It's good for us. And we've also got Ruben Love coming off the bench, who
He'll get an opportunity.
in his home ground in Wellington, although he's actually originally from Bubston North. It is his home ground in terms of plays for Wellington and Hurricanes. So I think he'll have a little bit of juice in him. He'll want to contribute. I'm curious to see when he comes on if he's playing 10 or 15, and if he's playing 15, is it Bowden still at 10 or D-Mac moved to 10?
Well, here's the thing, because what you could do is take, you could throw, so if you take Bowden off, D-Mac goes to 10, you probably move Ruben Love back to 15, which is his, I would say, natural position as well.
I'm very interested to see how that works.
But if you take D-Mac off, what you could do if you really wanted to, because fans have been saying it because we're stupid, you could move Jordan back. Put Ruben Love on the wing.
I don't know about that. I think Ruben Love's
D-Mac at 10.
I think Ruben Love's ability is probably wasted on the wing.
Yes, absolutely.
But if he can catch a high ball, go for it, mate.
Go
for
big
it.
Facts.
Put him on the right wing. Maybe those comments
So
have a little bit of thought to them.
So that's a great segue into ending this. What we need to do to win, and I talked about this to you off screen, and I've seen people, and I think fairly so, complaining that the All Blacks, especially in the centres, which I think a lot of people complained about with Ioane and Geordie Barrett when they were together, there's not really enough. There's still, even with Billy Proctor, not enough penetration there.
Yeah.
And I think there's a bigger issue there. I don't think it's the players. Because we could have Tava Nawai there. We could have Quinn Tupaia there, although we scored a try.
Everyone has issues with penetration. So, it's...
Especially us.
You're the one in a 6-year relationship. I don't know why that's an issue.
This is a very good point. But anyway, we're going to leave that one. But we are struggling. We are struggling.
That's fine.
We're struggling in that area.
Yes.
And
I thought you meant we're struggling in the podcast. I was like, I don't know about you.
No.
I'm having a great time today.
No, that's a very good point. No, we're struggling in that specific area. I don't actually think it's a player thing.
No.
I am looking at Razor for this. The one thing we need to do is make that defensive line move more.
I think this is I think it's an obvious thing, and it's not like, oh my God, he needs to be sacked because he can't do this. No, it's just the way he's played, because you look at how Billy was playing for the Canes, completely different in the same position.
Super Rugby, different level, but yes.
Yeah, exactly. But I think a lot of people maybe have just assumed that the performances of some players in that midfield at Super and International being the same, that it's a player issue. When at the same time, I think it's actually to do with the coaching.
I think it's bigger. I think it's a bigger coaching issue, and maybe it's not. I mean, yes, Razor's the head coach, so you got to hold him accountable. Yeah. But maybe it's our back coach, because don't forget, our back coach was supposed to be Leon McDonald, and what happened? He got gone.
I think. I think they clashed over player selections from what I've read online.
Yeah.
And I think eventually what Leon was advocating for ended up happening in the end.
Yes, exactly.
So, all comes well, ends well.
Yeah. So that's I'm going to specifically be looking for that, because the tries we scored, Amoni Nadawa, that first one, what happened? We moved the defensive line
Yep.
to one side, and that left Nadawa free for the beautiful Bowden Barrett freaking kick.
Oh, yeah.
What's it called? Will Jordan's try. Wallace Tatiti comes off the back, moves the defensive line. What happens? Jordan finds a gap.
Yep.
Quinn Tupaia, pretty much the exact same thing. I don't think it was off a scrum.
No.
I don't think it was off a scrum. But what happened? We actually did a move the defensive line, and it gave Quinn Tupaia enough room where he could use his power to still take 3-4 guys.
Yeah.
But he had a gap to get through. So that's what I'll be looking for from our backs. And a lot of that takes cohesion and communication, which we struggled with in Argentina, but not in this game.
No.
So that's what I'm looking for. And then the other two big things for me, I want to see us still be good under the high ball, because being good under the high ball really won us this game. But at the same time, the other thing I want to see is scrum. We need a much better scrum. Or look, South Africa have an elite scrum, but we need to compete a hell of a lot better than we did in this game.
Because the one clip,
we won't get away with it.
South African fans are posting that one clip from about an hour into the game where they demolished our scrum. It's like, oh, look at this brilliant South African play. This is why we're the best team in the world. You lost. But, we need to compete more at that scrum.
Yes.
Like you said, high ball, we need to keep on being better than that. But also, we need to remain being disciplined. Please let not this be a one-off for being as disciplined as we were. And also, defensively, keep it up.
Yes.
Keep it up so much. And
Simon Parker, hold it down for the boys.
Just play to your strengths again and focus on the loose ends. But I am confident heading into tomorrow. I don't think it's going to be a big one, but I feel like we might be a little bit more comfortable, even though we were, for a lot of the last game, comfortable. I know South Africa will be wanting to come back.
And they will come back, let's be real here.
But it's a very rotated team. They're not that experienced together, where last week I was concerned by the amount of experience they had, but we played so much better.
I could see, just to end it off, I could see a 31-24 win for the All Blacks for us, or
high scoring,
or maybe something more along the lines of an 18-12.
But there's also a chance that South Africa takes us by shock, and we see the new South African backline christened, which is
true.
Entirely possible.
Who, funnily enough, South Africa, you can say all you want. If this backline works really well, it is coached by Tony Brown, a Kiwi.
Yep,
it's coached by a Kiwi.
Coached by Kiwi. Also,
so we're going to take that credit.
The Wallabies also doing very well, coached by Kiwi as well.
Very true.
Imagine how the All Blacks, and this is not bagging on Razor, how would the All Blacks look right now with Joe Schmidt in charge?
Ooh, I'll be honest, I don't think much changes.
Much changes? You maybe think some aspects of the team?
I think some aspects might, but at the same time, Joe Schmidt, excellent coach. Look what he's done with the Wallabies in 2 years, and he's about to leave too.
And look what he did with Ireland.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, Ireland weren't that dominant until Schmidt came in, and then he palmed it off to Andy Farrell, who's done his job.
So I think, look, maybe we do see John Schmidt in the future coaching the All Blacks soon. I think he'd be a little bit old now.
I think Rugby Australia would be pissed if they lost Schmidt at the end of the next World Cup, because I feel like they'll do well, and he went straight to New Zealand. And almost
isn't he already going to leave?
I think he is leaving at the end of the World Cup.
I thought he was leaving at the end of this.
What is he?
End of this year?
No, surely no. I think he's
and then Les Kiss was taking over.
Oh no, shit, he is.
Yeah, I told.
Why is Schmidt leaving?
Yeah. I told you he
was.
No,
what the fuck? No.
Yeah.
He's leaving, isn't he?
That got announced ages ago.
Jesus.
How am I on top of it more than you?
Because I assumed they were playing so well, there's no way he was leaving.
No, here's our chill podcast going to shit.
What do you mean Joe Schmidt's leaving at the end of the year?
Yeah. I'll happily have him back on the staff.
Well, we'll have him on coaching staff in 2027.
Big facts. I hope so.
We're winning the World Cup, Dylan.
Calm down, mate.
But
no, let's. But I'm looking forward to an exciting game. I think it could be a high scoring 31-24.
I'd love it to be high scoring, but I'd love our defense to be better.
Or it could be the same 18-12.
Exactly.
To us.
It could be close. It could be close, but more points. But let's quickly move on, because it's been 40 minutes already just talking about a game which happened last week and a game which hasn't even happened yet.
Yes, very true.
To the NRL, and the last round of NRL action happened last week, and finals start tonight. I don't know if this will be up before.
Can I just say before you say this, because I made this entire prep sheet, which I usually don't. This guy usually holds the fort down.
Thank you, Dylan.
But can I just say, I am so proud of myself for the detail I've put into this NRL.
You've put a lot of detail,
section.
and I will have great pleasure
NRL section.
and reading it out.
Let's go.
Broncos Storm, massive game for both teams. The Broncos got a big win, 30-14. They finished Fourth, the Storm finish in second. A game the Warriors really needed to win, but just didn't go their way. The Sea Eagles get a 27-26 win, but we saw the fastest try in rugby league history scored.
Yes, we did.
Courtesy of a Daly Cherry Evans hesitance to grab the ball, and then Jason Saab not knowing how to defend, and James Fisher-Harris scoring after 8 seconds. It meant the Warriors did slip to 6, but the Sea Eagles, they remained in 10th. The Roosters, huge win over the Bunnies, 36-6. It meant the Roosters secured 8th, and the Rabbitohs secured 14th.
Yes, sir.
Marky Mark, Christ almighty, he is a great player for the Roosters.
I know this. I'm sure he'll stay at the Roosters.
No, I've got
Do you
one for
think
you.
he'll move?
But I don't
back?
think he goes to Australia,
Where do you think he's going?
because
You
Australia,
think he's going overseas?
as you know, just got rid of Gitolo. They are able to select anyone
Ooh,
who
yes.
plays anywhere as long as they're eligible for Australia. Mark's already played for the Wallabies as well.
True.
He'll go to France or Japan.
True.
He'll get offered a bag in France or Japan for about a season or two. He'll take it. He'll still play for the Wallabies.
You could, yeah. You could
I think that's
You're not
happening.
wrong.
I don't think he goes to the Waratahs because Rugby Australia will be like, hold up. I know because they've congrats to Rugby Australia, debt free apparently, or most of their debt's
Fair
gone
enough.
because of
Good
the
one.
Lions tour.
Yes,
So
I did see that.
don't spend all your money straight away on bringing in Mark. Mark will have offers from France and Japan as long as you're telling
Won't
him.
he still have to sign for Australian rugby though?
No,
Oh, well, there you go.
no. He just
Sweet
has to
as.
sign for an overseas team. That's why Skelton's playing for Australia.
True. Who's played fantastic, by the way.
Yeah, well, he's been one of the best locks in the world. He's just been really unable to play international rugby because he's been overseas for 10
true.
years. But moving on, Panthers, big win over the Dragons, 40-20. They're already finishing 7th, and the Dragons finished in 15th. Means the Panthers will face the Warriors. We'll get to that later. The Titans finished the season with a win. They missed a wooden spoon. Congratulations to them, 36-26. And that's my paperclip going rogue. Although one of the Titans' best player, their winger, Cam Pereira, is supposedly on his way to the Warriors. He's got a try per game as his average. Probably going to replace Dallin Martinez-Lesniak in the lineup, if I'm going to be completely honest. We're talking with him. I think it'd be a great addition to the Warriors. But yeah, the Titans, 36-28 win over the Tigers. The Tigers, after a lot of hype this season, finishing 13th. Remind me of Warriors of previous years. Some big players on the team, some big names, but just unable to keep it for the whole season. But I feel like that Tigers team will get better as time goes on.
True.
The Bulldogs thumped at home to the Sharks 24-6. The Sharks leapfrogging the Wires as a result to finish in 5th, and the Bulldogs stick in 3rd. The Dolphins, crazy Dolphins. Final game of the year. Weren't going to be able to make the 8 anyway. Still blast the Raiders, who were under strength, 62-24. Raiders still minor premiers, finishing 1st, but a well-known NRL fact is that no team has conceded 50 points in the season and gone on to win the grand final.
Wow.
The Raiders, in the last game of the season, concede 62.
Wow.
So is that the writing on the wall for the Raiders, or are we about to see that rule bucked?
Who knows?
Who knows? In the final game, the Eels didn't realise this was the score. Holy shit, 66-10 over the Knights. My God, great year for them. A great finish for them. 11th at the end of the year. The Knights, now the Wooden Spooners in 17. The Cowboys had the bye and finished in 12th, and that sets up the first qualifying finals of the year. The first final tonight. This might be out, but it's probably already happened by the time you're listening to this.
Yeah, true.
The Storm hosting the Bulldogs in the first qualifying final. The winner goes straight to the semis, or the prelim final, sorry, and the loser will go into the next round of finals next week, which must not be called elimination finals, because the Warriors play the Panthers in an elimination final tomorrow on Saturday, 6:05 p.m., an hour before the All Blacks kicks off. If you have 2 screens and 2 Sky accounts, utilize it.
Yes,
because these games will be
there's a lot
good
of rugby, man.
until the Panthers are down winning by 40. Even don't bother. The Sharks hosting the Roosters. This will be a great game, and I think the Roosters might surprise a lot of people despite being the 8th seed. That's a 9:50 kickoff on Saturday, and then the Raiders Broncos qualifying final, huge game on Sunday at 6 p.m.
Can I just say as well, because I know my uncle is now thinking, he's a Sharks fan.
Oh yeah,
Is now going to say to me, look what happened, mate. Told you, wait for the end of the season. You are right. But if you lose to the Roosters and we beat the Panthers, I'm going to send you a text message like you send me every time pretty much the Warriors lose a big game or any of my teams lose a big game. I usually get this text of like, My condolences, nephew. Sorry about that game, mate.
Well,
Pisses me off every time. So I try and send him one every time I can. So there we go.
For context,
come on, Roosters.
The Warriors, Panthers, and Shark Roosters games, if you lose, you're out of finals. The winners go to meet the losers of those qualifying finals. But that's the NRL. Good luck to the Warriors.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be tough.
It's been a great year, even if we lose it. Look, I think we did very well concerning the conditions of the season, losing a lot of our best players very early on, and still keeping a top 6 spot.
Let's go.
As we move on briefly to the Soccer Ashes,
which you went to.
I did. It was fucking freezing. First game in Canberra, All Whites played some of the best football they ever did. Only went down in the late 80 minutes.
86, yeah.
86 to the Socceroos, 1-0. Second game started off just as good. Conceded a rogue goal midway through the first half. The Motore was 1-0 down at half-time. Nestori Irankunda, I've seen him with my own eyes now. He will probably be
he's gonna be
very good player. He's already balling for Watford. He ran us silly, although he did manage to almost milk a red card out of Tyler Bindon, but it got downgraded to a yellow because it was clearly simulation with a bit of theatrics. But Chris Wood did score in front of a home crowd, which is good to see, but the Wallabies had already scored before that, so it was 2-1. Through Irankunda, great solo goal, and then Motore scored a second to make it 3-1.
We're going to call them the Socceroos because you just called them Wallabies.
Yeah, Socceroos. Sorry. And then they did score a fourth through Torre, but it was ruled because of offside. But there were some promising things to the All Whites, but it all collapsed in the second half.
Yeah.
We were missing Kakache and Starmanich and Matt Garbutt, so players being missed. Congratulations to Luke Brooks-Smith for making his All Whites debut.
Youngest ever, eh?
Second ever. I got that fact wrong, but there was nowhere online which actually said who the youngest player was.
Oh, there you go.
Luke Brooks-Smith, great player. Also eligible for England and Zimbabwe, so good. We have got him locked up. He was born and raised here anyway, so I don't think it was going to be much of an issue.
There you go.
Contracted to the Knicks for the foreseeable future, and hopefully we'll see a lot of him this season. Shout out to the Phoenix Womens who have brought back Macy Fraser from her time at the Utah Royals. She just stopped playing in Utah for some reason and ended up back in Wellington, and it made sense that she was going to come back. The Wellington Phoenix Women's team, I would say, are probably one of the favourites to win the whole thing this year. They are stacked with imports, stacked with local players, also convincing CJ Botts to come back from England. So
see what we can do.
Obviously, when Auckland's women's team are in, that's our team. But with the Knicks,
we'll get there.
Not going to say they're my favourite team, but I'm definitely getting behind them for this season because they're New Zealand's only team in the Women's A-League, and but I will respectfully move on to Auckland when the time comes.
Very true. Well, we'll move on to the Black Ferns, who won their last pool game of the Women's Rugby World Cup. Sorry, the Rugby World Cup.
Yeah.
40-0. Braxton Sorensen McGee is going to be so mean. Scores another hat-trick. It's the highest point scorer so far in the competition with 38. Insane. I hope she carries this on.
Yeah.
And to go along with the Warriors playing the Panthers at 6:05 tomorrow.
Also, I have a more full list of all of the action tomorrow because
Let's go.
I said this to a couple of mates.
Get this memorized.
So this is for Saturday the 13th of September. 4 p.m. Australia Argentina Union. 6 p.m. Warriors Panthers. 7 p.m. All Blacks South Africa. 9:50 p.m. Sharks Roosters. Midnight. This game coming up, the Black Ferns versus South Africa in the Women's World Cup quarterfinal. But shout out to the Black Ferns. Ireland was definitely going to be the toughest team in the group, and they smacked them 40-0.
And that's a little bit of a, revenge for them beating us by 2?
Yes, they did beat us. Yes, it was the first time they'd ever beat us in women's rugby.
There you go.
Braxton, that's her second hat-trick at this World Cup.
Tough.
Nuts. And she's only 18. But like I said, I feel like she'll be one of those players, or be a player who will flip-flop between Union and League consistently. Because I've said that Joseph Swaliti in Australia will also do that. He will swap between Union and League. I reckon he'll do it a few times. Obviously, people will say Sonny Bill was the first to do it, and that is true. He did start off in League.
But you think it'll look different? Went
to Union, went to League, came back for sevens, and then went back to... But I think people are expecting Swaliti to do it more often. Sonny did it. I think he spent quite a bit of time in at least... because he had 2 real stints in both sport.
Yeah.
When he came in at the Bulldogs and he went to Toulon briefly and then went to the Crusaders, played in 2011, stayed with the Chiefs for a bit, but he'd agreed to go back to the Roosters, go back to the league via the Roosters, won a title there, and then returned via Sevens because he wanted to go to the Olympics. But he was at the 25th. Was he at the 2015 World Cup? No.
Yes, he was.
It was? Oh, yeah, he came back for the Chiefs, and then he played Sevens. And then he came to the Blues and played for us until 2019, where he was at that World Cup, I think. And then he went to the Wolfpack. They dissolved basically because of COVID, and then he went to the Roosters to end it off. But also, Brad Thorne started with the Broncos.
Thorne's another guy, yes.
Started with the Broncos ahead of 2003, moved to New Zealand, played at the 03 World Cup, went back to league in the mid-2000s, and then came back to rugby in 2007, 2008, won a World Cup in 2011, didn't retire until about 2016.
Tough.
He was in his 40s. But I think Braxton might be the equivalent of that. I think she will go to NRLW. I reckon she'd be a marquee Warriors signing at some point.
Man.
I think they'll pull out the guns to bring her in. She could probably play in a lot of positions in a league backline and a lot of positions in a union backline, but obviously she's at wing or fullback right now.
You could argue another young person on the Black Ferns may do something similar. Georgia Miller.
I'm expecting that.
Who is mean?
NRLW teams will look at her and be like, she could play almost any position on the pitch.
Yes.
And
literally.
And it'll be up to her to decide where she wants to play and what team's the best suit for that, which is probably one of the biggest luxuries any player could have.
Very true.
But I do hope also for New Zealand rugby, they are able to keep them as much as they can. But I think Georgia would be a great NRLW player, but she's already probably one of the best in the world.
With that being said, as well, for the team in this quarterfinal, Georgia Miller back at 7.
Yep.
Braxton Sorensen McGee is at 14 with Renee Holmes, a huge boot, at 15. Portia's on the other side at 11, the GOAT, we know this. Also, Kaipa Olsen-Baker is back, playing 8.
She is back, and also, shout out to the South African women's team for naming the first 7-1 split in women's rugby history.
There you go. Did not know they did that.
They did. And I'm hoping they did, and I just didn't take a tweet as verbatim. But someone on Twitter said, congratulations, Sarah, for naming the first 7-1 bench in women's rugby history. Which, crazy. Absolutely nuts. Just had to be South Africa, though, didn't it?
Big facts. We'll see what they can do. Hopefully, we want the Black Ferns to win. South Africa did lose to the Black Ferns 15, so the Black Ferns B team. Before this World Cup, so hopefully our Black Ferns can come out and win that. But
I'm confident.
It's a quarterfinal. Who knows?
You never know. No, so South Africans, they love to be fired up in any sport. So
big facts.
We'll see it. But NPC and FPC has happened. Some results. I think we'll just kind of breeze past a lot of these because at this point, a lot of them don't mean too much. But Counties, big win for them over North Harbour, 22-19. Otago, big win at home over Northland, 29-10. Hawke's Bay, huge win over Wellington, who aren't a bad team, 45-10. Manawa 2, great to see them on the winning shield against Waikato, 36-26. Unfortunately, Southland have lost the Ranfurly Shield on the first defence, going down to a stacked Canterbury side, 54-14. And Taranaki, massive loss for them to Bay of Plenty, 17-43 at home. Then, finally, Auckland win their first game of the season, and against Tasman, of all teams, Caleb Clark scores again in the 29-21 win. I believe Caleb Tangito scored as well.
Yes, he did. The Calebs both scored.
I will not be surprised if we see both Calebs involved in the All Blacks later this year. Games of note, Northland will be next week's games, Northland will be hoping to keep it up against Wellington at home. Waikato will hope to get back on the win sheet against North Harbour. Bay of Plenty versus Hawke's Bay is a bit of a local derby. Otago versus Taranaki will be very interesting. Auckland will be hoping to go back-to-back against Manawa 2. Southland host counties Manukau, and Canterbury already have a shield challenge against Tasman. And something tells me that Tasman could well and truly take this one out.
True that.
And am I wrong in saying that Leicester got named in that team?
In the Tasman team,
I believe he got
playing against Auckland?
Yeah, no, against Canterbury.
I believe he has, yes.
So they're taking that seriously, Tasman, because they've got Leicester, who was All Blacks injury cover. And in the FPC, once again, Dylan, some massive, ginormous score lines. The Auckland Storm, 81-5 over Hawke's Bay, followed up with Waikato, beating Bay of Plenty 88-5. And then even in the next game, the Manawa 2 Cyclones, Counties Manukau Heat, still 40-26. The Northland Cody beat the Wellington Pride 22-13, probably the only normal scoreline in this competition this week. The Otago Spirit put 77 over the Taranaki Fio, who only scored 12. And then Tasman lose to North Harbour Hibiscus 22-42. games next week, Dylan, if you want to read them out.
Let's go. We got Bay of Plenty versus Hawke's Bay. That will actually be a close game. I think they're both last at the moment. Waikato versus Manawatu.
Watch one of those teams win by 80 points.
Facts. Waikato versus Manawatu Cyclones. The Northern Cody are at home against the Wellington Pride. A little bit of opposite sides of the North Island there. The opposite side North Island Classic. The Otago Spirit play the North Harbour High Biscuits. That's even more opposite. And then you've got the big one. Auckland Storm versus Canterbury.
That's going to
Auckland
be a
versus
big
Canterbury, baby.
And any sport is good. And that's the local sport done, unless we forgot anything. I don't think we
we're
did.
Sweet ass. I do actually. There was one thing. It was news, and I will talk about it. And I hope it gets sorted out. Dame Nolene Taurua.
Oh, the netball.
And the netball supposedly being let go as coach of the Silver Ferns.
Well,
I just say that would be a huge mistake.
Yeah, apparently the players voted a no confidence or something, from what I know. I hope the whole issue is resolved.
Yeah,
I need
man.
to talk to my netball sources, because I have some friends who are very much into netball, and they would know everything.
And I will say this, both Laura Langman came out with a fantastic netball player, came out with a statement pretty much on Twitter, 4-page statement defending Nolene Taurua, and then there was actually multiple different current Silver Ferns that liked that post. So I'm not sure it is all Silver Ferns players. I don't know what's going on there. I hope it gets sorted. Because Dame Nolene is pretty, I would say, outside of Ruth Aiken, the GOAT of netball coaching here in Aotearoa in New Zealand. And she's done so much.
She's done so much. And
look, let's be real. We don't know what really has happened. No. But I hope it gets sorted.
We might not know for a while. There's a lot of international news events that we might not know what happened for a while as well. It's been a busy week this week, guys.
It has. And we're doing it late.
Moving on to the international sports, we'll quickly run through the M1 in Monza. Not really anything of note for Liam Lawson. Finished last in qualifying, would go on to finish the race respectfully in 14th, just behind Yuki Tsunoda.
Yes.
It was a win in qualifying for Max Verstappen, with both McLarens following him. The Ferraris in 4th and 5th, and what is a home race for them. Max Verstappen keeps pole and wins in a dominant performance.
Yeah,
Norris finishes second, Piastri third, although I believe they asked Piastri to move back for Norris. Alex Albon finishes in 7th and Isaac Hadjar in 10th. Like we said, Liam Lawson in 14th. Just a place behind Yuki Tsunoda.
Yes, sir.
The Premier League is also back, and massive news, Nuno Esperanto Santo sacked from Nottingham Forest, mostly because we believe he's had several disagreements with Nottingham Forest owner, a Greek guy called Marinakis, who does seem to be quite a character. Not going to say much more, because I don't want to piss the man off, because he might eat me. So, Ange Postecoglou, a very interesting, a very different manager, someone who plays a very high line compared to Nuno, taking over one of the best defenses of the Premier League last season.
Yeah, but
I wonder what's going to happen there. Might transfer Murillo out of my fantasy team as soon as I can in that case. But moving on, Forest's first task is away to Arsenal. Shout out to Chris Wood, who played on Tuesday our time against Australia in Auckland. Saturday 11:30 p.m. our time is in London playing Arsenal. So I respect that. Apparently he had to get subbed off early so he could catch an 11:30 flight back to Europe.
Yes.
Bournemouth hosting Brighton. Bournemouth will be hoping to improve on the start of the season. It hasn't been great. Brighton obviously come off beating Man City. We'll be hoping to get a win here. Crystal Palace versus Sunderland. I think Crystal Palace are very favoured here. Sunderland have had some good moments so far in their return to the Brit, but Crystal Palace, decent team. Everton v Villa. I think Everton could easily win this.
Villa have been playing.
Sorry.
No, you're all good.
Villa have not started the year well. Their players have not been playing as well as a lot of people expected. Everton have started very well. Jack Grealish has taken like a duck to water on Merseyside.
True.
Really very, very intrigued to see what he can do for the whole season. And Fulham versus Leeds, interesting one there. Don't really know who will take that. Probably Leeds. I don't know, actually. Newcastle Wolves. Newcastle will be wanting to unleash their £80 million man, Nick Waltmade, who's huge. So it'll be interesting to see how they utilise him against Wolves. West Ham host Spurs. They signed Randall Colomwani on deadline day.
Yes.
Massive signing. see what he does in the Spurs jersey, because we know how he played at the last World Cup for France, and he's very good.
True.
Brentford hosting Chelsea. I think Chelsea probably got this. No Cole Palmer, though, still. Burnley versus Liverpool. Again, I fully expect Liverpool to win this game.
That'll be an Isak debut
debut as well, probably off the bench. And then I didn't realise, Manchester derby already. Man City versus Man United. Let's see where this goes. Who knows? But my friend Dylan, the NFL has started back up.
Yes, sir.
And we had some very intriguing results to start the year.
Yes,
I think we can both talk about certain games, because I think we both watched some games and not some games. Because I watched quite a bit. I forgot to watch the game, which was today, which is the start of round 2, which we'll talk about in a sec.
Yep.
But opening game.
Shall we rock and roll?
Opening game, which was free on YouTube and played in. Sorry, no, not that game. That was the next game. The first game of the season in Philadelphia. The Philadelphia Eagles beat the Dallas Cowboys 24-20.
Yep.
Which 6 seconds into the season, Jalen Carter gets ejected for spitting in Dak Prescott's face. Supposedly,
Disgusting.
and found out later that Dak actually spat first, and it wasn't caught. Supposedly.
It's always the retaliator that gets caught.
The Eagles get the job done, thankfully. I know they're probably the 2 most hated teams in the NFL, but I'd rather the Cowboys lose. So,
Facts.
I'm not going to do a Stephen
There was a huge delay in this game as well.
Due to weather.
It's
huge, and no points were scored after that. So it was like, what's the point? The next game was free on YouTube in Brazil. Shout out to the Los Angeles Chargers and the absolute top standard for men across the world, Justin Herbert, getting the win over the Chiefs 27-21. You're telling me he's got long, blonde, wavy surfer hair, he's 6'6", he's dating Madison Beer, and he plays for a team in LA?
Tough.
Almost more tough than Josh Allen, who we'll get to later. But
yes.
Yeah, the Chiefs, maybe that dynasty starting to be found out by a lot of teams. It's not the same team as previous years. The Chargers aren't a bad team on paper, though. I'll let you take the next couple of games, because one of these does involve your beloved Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yes, sir. The Buccaneers did play the Falcons. Close game. I do think those two will be, either one will be the top of their division. Which is the NFC South. But the Buccaneers do take the win, 23-20. And then my Steelers, my beautiful Steelers.
Ah, yes.
Aaron Rodgers, 41 years old at quarterback, playing our former quarterback, Justin Fields, who I wish we could have kept, but the Jets did overpay for him. But the Steelers get the close win on a 60-yard bomb from the best kicker in the NFL right now, Chris Boswell. I said it. The Steelers win 34-32. And I know my Steelers fans will know out there the offense looked quite good.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers was slinging it. I will say our left tackle, Broderick Jones, he's got to play heaps better. But in saying that, the offense looked great. And our defense looked crap. Our defense did not play very well, especially against the run. We let Breece Hall go off. Yeah. But look, we end up getting the win. Jalen Ramsey, clutch play against Garrett Wilson. Glad to have him on the team. Hopefully he doesn't get injured and can stay healthy. But the Steelers do get the win, 34-32, starting another season off right that will end up being 10-7 and losing in the wild card round of the playoffs. But there you go. And then the Colts take a dominant win.
Indiana Jones.
Over Indianapolis.
Daniel Jones, former New York Giants quarterback, who was well memed, taking like a duck to water Indianapolis, getting one over to his Dolphins 33-8.
Yeah. The Colts under fire for giving up on Anthony Richardson, or supposedly giving up on Anthony Richardson. Look, I mean, if you're going to play like that for the rest of the year with your rookie Tyler Warren tight end looking fantastic as well, pretty tough to argue that, to be honest.
In the battle of the college phenom quarterbacks, Bryce Wilson and Trevor Lawrence, well, he was a high school phenom as well. Bryce Young, sorry. The Trevor Lawrence Jaguars get the win 26-10 over the Panthers. Not much to talk about that game. The Commanders start the season off well, 21-6 over the Giants. The Arizona Cardinals, and shout out, who's their right receiver again? Marvin Harrison Jr.?
Yeah, Marvin Harrison Jr.
Looks like a brilliant wide receiver, get the win over the Saints, 20-13. Shout out to the Cincinnati Bengals for handing the Cleveland Browns a loss, despite the best efforts of Joe Flacco, 17-16. The Raiders beat the Patriots 20-13 to kick off the year. The 49ers get a tight win over the Seahawks, 17-13. Seahawks do look quite good. The Broncos beat Cam Ward's Titans 20-12, the number 1 pick from the last draft. The Packers get the job over the Lions, 27-13.
Fairly dominant,
Big game. And then the Rams, a narrow win over the Texans, 14-9. And in an absolute batshit insane game to start the year in Buffalo, the Bills beat the Ravens at the death, 41-40. Josh Allen, a god amongst men. But obviously, Lamar Jackson also played brilliantly in this game. They led by 15 in the fourth quarter. But Josh Allen, holy crap. Like,
Mr. Dating Haley Steinfeld, Mr. 6'5",
Mr. MVP, Mr. Millions and millions and millions of dollars of money.
Yep. I guess if they ever play the Chargers this year, it's the battle of man's peak.
Yeah, it's a battle of aura, probably.
Yeah, facts.
But that was insane. The Bills, clutch from them. They'll be feeling pretty confident after that game. The Ravens, hopefully for their sake, because that team is absolutely loaded on paper.
And I'm going to say it again, as a Steelers fan, I respect the Ravens, but you have no excuse.
Yep, and I'm
going to keep saying that the entire year.
I think I was talking to one of my other friends, like, they have no excuse. Like,
No,
they have to
they
win
don't.
it. They have to win the Super Bowl at this point, because what do you mean you have Lamar Jackson at quarterback, you have Derrick Henry as your running back, and then your wide receiving room is great, and your defense is also good.
Is elite.
How are you not even getting to the Super Bowl? And you've got a coach who's done that before in Harbaugh. Like,
That's what I'm saying.
Come on.
That's a little bit of the Steelers rivalry in me to just keep saying there's no excuse, but they have built a fantastic
But genuinely, I think there is no excuse. But also, I've pledged my allegiance finally, after 8 years of teasing. I am a Minnesota Vikings fan. And we have beaten the Chicago Bears 27-24. JJ McCarthy. Don't meme on the kid. He's just had a kid, you know? The kid having a kid.
He did need to.
And winning
you will need him to play better though.
Oh yeah, second half he performed a lot better. It's his first NFL game, you know. So thankfully, there's only one page left.
But yeah, you're right.
But that's the NFL for the first week. Thursday night football has happened for the second week, and the Green Bay Packers remain undefeated, beating the Commanders 27-18.
My dad's going to be happy with that. He is a Green Bay Packers fan. The reason I say that in quote marks is because he lived in Green Bay in West Auckland his whole life and saw Green Bay Packers and was like, hello.
Shout out to Green Bay, though.
He's also a Kansas City Chiefs fan because his name's that's his initials, KC.
Oh, yeah.
So, respect.
I mean, those are both respectful. Only a couple of more things to talk about, including that Women's World Cup we briefly said. Some big scorelines to end off the group stage.
Yes.
Canada beating Scotland 40-19. The USA, despite beating Samoa 60-0, was not enough to qualify for the next round. Even though Australia, the team they needed to pip, lost to England 47-7. I'm not sure what the math was there, but I'm a bit. The US probably a little bit aggrieved they couldn't progress.
Yeah, it's pretty tough.
But you know, they obviously brought a lot of eyes to the tournament, and I see a lot of creators on TikTok, a lot of women just talking about the tournament who all appear to be from America or Canada. So it's really cool
awesome
to see that market very invested in this tournament, and I think it will long term be a very, very good thing.
Could we see a Women's World Cup in the US?
Well, we are in 2033.
There you go. So hopefully it just continues to build.
Australia 2029 and then US 2033, so mirroring the Men's World Cup hosts.
Yes, yeah.
Then after that, Wales go down to Fiji 25-28. Japan beat Spain 29-21. Italy, a big win over Brazil 64-3. And France, a big win over South Africa 57-10. Sets up the following quarterfinals, as we know. Black France versus South Africa. Midnight this Sunday. Canada, as in 11:59 Saturday, midnight Sunday, that's the game. Canada versus Australia. Hopefully this is a close one, but we know Canada are very good. It's 3 a.m. on Sunday. France versus Ireland, midnight Monday morning. France are probably favoured, but you never know about Ireland. And then England, Scotland, probably England's win there, 3 a.m. on Monday.
Yes, sir.
And we move on to the final thing of the show, the International Men's Rugby. And the Wallabies, God bless them, 28-24 win at home against the Pumas. And this was great because their captain, Harry Wilson, in the 85th minute.
Wasn't Harry Wilson.
Sorry?
It was Angus Bell.
Are you sure? I thought
Yes.
it was Harry Wilson
No,
who
it
said
was
it.
Angus Bell.
Well, one of those gentlemen said something along those lines, let's fucking send it at the 85th minute and kicked for touch. And they scored to beat the Pumas 28-24. Another win for them.
Oh, yes, it was Harry Wilson, the captain. He would have made that decision.
Yes, and
But
George Bell
Angus
scored.
Bell,
Angus
Angus Bell did score the try.
So that's very good for Australia. They'll be hoping to beat Argentina again and
Yes.
cement themselves as a real contender to first, because we're currently on first of the Rugby Championship.
Yep.
Which is great. And we have some World Cup news. The Pacific Nations Cup has had some games, and we know that Fiji and Japan had already qualified for the tournament because of their World Cup positioning. But Tonga and Canada have qualified. This was after Japan beat the US 47-21, and after Samoa went down to Fiji 29-15.
Yes.
So what this means is that Samoa versus the US will essentially send one team directly to the World Cup. I'm guessing it's going to be Samoa. And then the US will play, I believe, Chile in a game which, if whoever wins that goes to the World Cup, whoever doesn't goes to a final qualification tournament with Namibia, one of Brazil or Paraguay, and Belgium. So I think whatever team from the PNC falls there probably wins that tournament.
Yeah.
The US. And I messaged Dylan earlier what the pots would look like for the World Cup draw, which is going to happen in December. And I messaged how they currently look like now. And there's some very interesting pots here because this is based on the world rankings. The top 6 teams are all in pot 1. Australia are 6th in the world currently. That could change by the time we get to the end of the year. They're joined by New Zealand, Ireland, South Africa, France, and England. Pot 2, you have Argentina, Scotland, Fiji, Italy, Georgia, and Wales. A lot of people would argue that maybe Georgia and Wales are a bit too high up here. Wales, obviously, at an all-time low.
It
Georgia,
surprised me that Georgia's up that high.
yeah, they're above Wales because below both of those teams in pot 3, you have the likes of Japan, Samoa, Spain, Tonga, Uruguay, and Portugal, although Samoa haven't actually qualified yet. And neither have the US and another team I put in here, Chile. So Japan being pot 3 could lead to some games like Italy, Japan, Georgia, Japan, Fiji, Japan in the pool stage, because how it works is there's now 6 groups of 4. The top 2 teams in each pool go through, and then the 4 best third place teams go through, so you have around the 16. So they'll still be wanting to win as many games as they can in third.
True that.
But you could easily, I think I told you, I think a full strength Spain, full strength Samoan and Tongan teams probably beat Georgia at this point.
You could argue that, yeah.
I think you could argue about, Uruguay and Portugal and Spain pretty much feel at home in that third pot. Spain in 15th, they're ahead of Tonga, Uruguay, and Portugal in the world rankings. And then your pot 4 would have the US and Chile, who haven't qualified yet, but I assume they would. Could see Namibia here, maybe, though. Who knows? Followed by Romania, Hong Kong, Canada, and returning for the first time in 36 years, Zimbabwe.
Yes.
So I don't think anyone in pot 4 is really out of place or might make a run to the top 3. I think some people might argue the US and Chile could maybe cause an upset against a pot 3 team. Maybe Romania, if I'm going to be completely honest.
Yep.
Romania probably could. Possibly Canada. But I don't think Hong Kong or Zimbabwe will be troubling anyone. I'd love to say that's not the case. Because it's Hong Kong's first ever World Cup, and then Zimbabwe, they haven't been since 1991, and they've never won a game. Japan's only World Cup win for a very long time was a 62-8 win, or 52-8 win over Zimbabwe in 91.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Zimbabwe, we're hoping to not be blown out as badly in those games.
True.
But that makes it very interesting. From a New Zealand point of view, we could see us drawing against an Argentina or a Scotland or a Fiji in our group, and also potentially against an island team like Samoa and Tonga or a Japan. And then, any of the pot 4 teams, I think, from a New Zealand point of view, is not going to be treated any differently from each other.
Yeah.
But that's very interesting. The draws at the end of the year, it's the earliest they've done the draw in quite a while, because they love to do it like a full 2 years before, because we got drawn against France at the last World Cup, and I was like, I really don't want the French, and we got the French. So it is what it is.
True that.
So really interesting to look at that. World Cup qualifying still ongoing, obviously. We just said what's still the card, and final qualification tournament will be very interesting.
And we'll update you on that, of course, as time goes on.
Love to see Belgium go through, or Brazil, Paraguay, or Namibia go over. Namibia have been to a lot of World Cups and haven't got a win yet. So come on, guys. If you're going to qualify, get a win. I'm sorry, I know it's not
That's
easy.
tough.
That's tough. But the fact that they qualified for every World Cup,
Yeah.
every single one from 1999 to 2023, and not one game with a. To be fair, they almost beat Scotland, I think, in 2011. They came very close. I think it was against Scotland. No, maybe it was no. I think that might have been Romania, Scotland. But there were some games in Namibia came close. And also, when they gained independence from South Africa in the 90s, they actually beat Ireland in a full international.
I never knew that.
It was like they were a very good team. But I don't know what happened after that. But Dylan, I think that's us. And honestly,
That is us.
after spending 40 minutes talking about the All Blacks, the fact this is coming in at about an hour and a quarter.
It's not bad.
It's not bad because it is late, ladies and gentlemen. It's 8:09. I've still
is
got to
late.
get dinner, but thankfully it's Friday night. I don't have work tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
You don't have work tomorrow.
No, I don't.
Most people here might not have work tomorrow, or at least in the morning.
So, if you don't and you have nothing to do, please listen in.
I mean, they would have
this.
already. It's been an hour and a quarter.
Yeah, I know, but you get my point.
I get the point.
Go and see the rest of our episodes
Oh
as
yeah,
well, by the
go
way,
catch
please.
up if you haven't watched all of them, or watch all the reels on
True that.
our Instagram and our TikTok videos a million times, so we get rich and famous. But we don't do it for the views here. We do it
Because we love sport.
We do it because we love sport and we love chatting about it and chatting shit and
man.
talking about all good things sport.
Big facts.
But I've been Simon Cooper and that has been Dylan Courtney and this has been.
Before we do get out
Oh,
of
he's
here,
got one more.
we do have some updates though.
Oh no.
First of all, the next episode will also be late. It'll come
will
out
we?
Wednesday. Yes.
Are you busy
because
on Monday?
Monday is me and Gabrielle's 6th year anniversary.
Oh yes.
So
I remember that day well.
Unfortunately, sport must come to a halt.
Oh, on
To
a Monday?
celebrate the anniversary.
I can flick Gab a message.
There you
I say
go.
that doesn't work for me, brother.
There you go.
Also, shout out AJ Lee back.
Yes, let's go, AJ Lee.
Light
Go.
him up. It's great. It's great.
Loud pop as well.
Good to see AJ Lee back, and also
yeah.
good to see AEW doing shows in the old ECW arena.
Yes.
It was very, very cool. I was going to say something. I don't remember.
It's very cool shit.
WrestlePalooza very soon.
We'll cover that.
We'll cover that when it happens, most definitely. Because
Actually, is that next week?
yeah, next week would be Sunday.
So not
Sunday.
this weekend.
No,
that's about to start
it'll
tomorrow.
be next week,
Yes.
and that should hopefully have some good fights on it. And I think is Worlds Collide this weekend?
Yes, I think it might be.
We might see Dominic Mysterio become a AAA mega champion
Yes.
against Vikingo, who they don't like him in AAA since he became the champion because they didn't like, they didn't think he was worthy, and they didn't like that he bet Alberto El Patron for it. So.
There you go.
As in the old Alberto Del Rio.
Alberto Del Rio.
Who is a part of a... Oh, I didn't realize he's from wrestling royalty in Mexico.
Yes.
His father was Dos Caras, and I believe he was related to another... Maybe not El Santo, but another very
he's
big...
he's a proper wrestling royalty.
yeah,
in
so
Mexico.
he just... Because of that legacy, they love him.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if he's done some dodgy shit.
Yeah, well, there
But
you go.
that's been us. Thank you so much for watching once again. Dylan and I will be back on your screen slightly earlier than this. Well, more than slightly earlier than last
But
week.
it will be later than usual next week.
I also didn't know. So Tuesday recording. I need to check my calendar. I don't
Yes.
think I'm doing anything on Tuesday.
So to be out Wednesday, also go follow us on TikTok and Instagram
Hey, we're chill.
at CouchSide.network. And like you were listening now, you can listen and watch all of our rest of our episodes on Spotify and YouTube. And with that being said, Simon, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for
We're
having me,
gonna
Dylan.
we're gonna get out and enjoy the rest of our Friday
You
night.
didn't leave me hanging.
As you should too. Never do that.
Never leave the man
Never
hanging.
do that. And with that being said, we don't leave you hanging either. Couchside out.
Couch side out. Go to All Blacks.